vehicle history products, and Carfax reports. So a consumer would come in and say, hey, I want to buy a car, they want a Carfax report, and they go, oh, this is so, but they were cheaper. So there are competitors to Carfax in the market, or a dealership may have its own, and they'll put on the invoice for the car, $100 for vehicle history report. Consumer never even noticed it. So what we learned was we have to get consumers to request Carfax by name, right? It's almost like the Porsche Accept No Substitutes campaign. So what we did, we came up with the Show Me the Carfax. We're like, oh yeah, I got this note from my mom. Yeah, show me the Carfax. So we did a series of commercials that were, humor, tongue-in-cheek, but that discounted potentially the reputation of the dealership. Available at reputable dealerships nationwide. So now if you don't issue a Carfax, right? So
then you're not considered reputable.
Right, so it's very controversial. Dealers were pissed. And we're like, sorry, give them a Carfax report. But it costs them money to do that. So Carfax evolved, sitting around the table and somebody saying, we need a lizard. I'm like, okay,
like the Geico of...
Right. I said, first of all, it's a gecko for Geico's mnemonic device, but okay. So the marketing guy, the CMO, said, we need a lizard. So we said, okay, let's try to come up with a mnemonic device that would also work. And Carfax does a lot of social work. Carfax has his own page. He tweets a lot. He shows up in various places. He posts pictures, stuff like that. So Carfax was an extension of the campaign to see the mnemonic device that we built from it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to do last two questions. Technology industry number 18, Lori. Or Lori, I'm drowning her with questions.
Technology, all of us at the executive level, we have a whole department in the research department, subscribe to industry trade publications, white papers, newsletters. So every day we get bombarded with emails. I get roughly 400 emails a day. And when you subscribe to these things that just help you learn, if you like to learn, you like information, you can scan it very quickly. But it's news that gets pushed to you and us. Those of us who want to remain an on top of our game. We get these reports and we can say, hey, that's an interesting idea. Let me go talk to the media person responsible for that particular technology. We have a retail technologies group, in fact, that works to design and implement new technologies all the time for us. So on top of those two things, this research department every week publishes an aggregate of here are new things that occurred that you need to know about. Why you need to know this, bullet. So it's somebody's responsibility at the agency, for those of us who aren't,
to keep you abreast.
Right.
Of what's going on.
They publish a strategic digest every week.
That's neat. That's great. Even just looking at the website with how many times they have coffee, and the F-bomb is dropped, all that kind of stuff, hysterical. But someone has to keep track of that data, just like you're keeping track of the client's data within your own organization. That was funny. 34,000. Like I was on the floor because I do stuff like that in my classroom. It's like, oh, it's not so. But it's true. This is the way people are. You have to remember, all these people that are creating this campaign, they're all human beings. She's a regular person. She hangs out, she goes to the movies, she eats pizza and everything else. They're not just these big wigs. Well, yesterday you had popcorn and dinner.
I did have popcorn.
That was her dinner.
Actually, Doritos.
Yeah, Doritos in here. You gotta bring the Doritos over. Cigars and over.
I just didn't feel like having food.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's where we had lunch today, though. Lunch
was fabulous. I'm like, I never sit down and eat like that.
I told you, faculty lunch. All right, whoever has the best midterm, just come on lunch.
Nice.
Right?
Strong. Yeah.
Good deal.
Quick question regarding technology. The Z-Tech, the phone technology you guys have.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about
Z-Track?
it? Yeah, Z-Track.
Z-Track is super cool. What Z-Track allows us to do with our DRTB, our direct response campaigns, and any print we do, we can put an exclusive 800 number on it, and then we can track the efficacy of each one of those. So we can run a different ad on each channel on television, and we can tell you what the cost per lead of, what the call cost per conversion cost per revenue dollar using Z-Track. Because it tracks tracks how many calls went in, did they go to the next queue, did they purchase, essentially converting.
It's
And
crazy amount of data.
it's unbelievable. And we have dashboards. You log into your dashboard every day and, the number of
Sure, market research is what we
What's that?
Sure, market research is what
It's great. It's awesome. I log into Z-Check every morning before I get out of bed. I got my iPad and I want to see anything on fire, what are my daily sales numbers, so that I know by the time I get out of the shower, am I going to have to pull the advertising on those 3 networks? Where's best to put it? Let me text my media guy. Hey Adam, I was looking at Z-Track, call me when you can. I'm giving him a heads up that I see something. Z-Track's extremely useful.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen like even told like a
And our guys in the retail tech department, they're the smartest, weirdest dudes I've ever met. No, I'm serious. These guys are clinical and they got issues, but they're super awesome. I love them.
I think anybody that works in this industry, like even in my position, teaching it, you gotta be out of your mind.
You got a little touch.
Yeah, yeah,
These
you're definitely
guys are like,
following. And last question, we're gonna talk about dabbling in the advertising for the Hispanic market, specifically we're talking about South Florida.
I mean, Hispanic advertising is something we always have a Hispanic person on all of our teams. Even if we don't do Hispanic advertising for a particular client, we always have that person assigned on the team. To sort of, we're always constantly suggesting to our clients the best way to break into it. It's not just about, don't put a message out there. We have to make sure we cultivate the stores, make sure that the stores feel like they're ready to receive Hispanic customers, whether or not, one of the segments, believe it or not, was a whole segmentation study about the Hispanic market, and are you marketing to abuelos? Are you marketing to, the younger cultures? So it makes a difference, and we don't want to drive Hispanic customers in the store, especially in Miami. We have a lot of retail clients here. Their stores have no Hispanic signage, and it can't just be translation. So I won't let them do it unless they're going to make the operational commitment to do it the right way. We're not going to translate ads on television. We're not doing it.
Would you say that when you put together a campaign, it's a little more powerful to kind of grab the attention of the consumer and kind of humor them and excite them, or is it more important to subconsciously kind of really put that just do an understanding and get into like with the Papa John's and those moms who kind of subconsciously kind of think about it?
That's a great question. I think you have to strike a balance in that, and that's where I think the creative execution was a lot of heavy lifting for you. So if you have to get their attention, you have to be entertaining, right? You have to, because if it's not entertaining as wallpaper, we like to be entertained. There's a great article actually in the New York Times from 2 weeks ago called "Why Waiting is Torture," and it talks about if we're not constantly stimulated.
That's true.
When we're waiting in line, for like in Starbucks and we just ordered, but we're super excited to the window. We're like online, we're checking Facebook, we can't wait anymore. So
Like we're leveraging there now and more than ever to kind of be more exciting, more
Absolutely, absolutely, because as Gen X and millennials, right, grew up with all this technology, my generation, when we answered the telephone, didn't know who was on the other line. You know what I mean? And like, our telephones were connected to the wall. So, you guys have no idea. We didn't have Google. I barely had a laptop when I was in college. It was brand new, and they were
They like first started email when I was in
they
college.
were $3,600 and 200 megs was the hard drive.
Yeah, I paid $2,500 for this.
Like, what? So the world has changed. The trajectory of change has been so rapid that yes, you have to break through. But it's important to make those other emotional connections. They're very subliminal, right? The baby does
Because that person is like a piece of
It is.
spark
It is.
that person,
Right.
kind of grab them, and it's kind of hard to break that bond.
Well, it's much, much better too, instead of saying, this is higher quality pizza for your child, the emotive response from her is, that's a better product for my child. It's a much stronger connection than us telling them.
Awesome. Does anyone have any last minute questions, or did you want to talk to Lori a little bit for 5 or 10 minutes about any opportunities? You're welcome to bring forth your resume if you need to. So we'll open up the floor. You can either line up, you could ask questions, you can sit in your seat however you want.
We have an awesome intern program. It's super hard, so if you want to do it, you have to work.
You have to work.
No, I'm serious, I'll throw you out. So, you'll get boxed. So, but it's awesome, like, I've never seen an intern program like this, and every year, they come up with these amazing campaigns. You know, and one year we actually hired the intern team for the client who executed it, and it's doing very well, so. What's that? Usually it's 25 or 30, so 5 or 16 to 5.
And they're all
No, they're all, there's, right, 5 or 6 different teams, they're all working on one client project that they present at the end with the CEO of that client, and Jordan, Pat, and, you know, those of us in the room. And they also have another client they're assigned through the course of where you learn the ins and outs of that client, you're part of that working team on that.
When an intern comes in and they're kind of getting acclimated in the field, do you think it is safe for them to take a risk in terms of how they want to develop a campaign or put their word out there and things like that? Or should they kind of just sit back like a sponge? Or, you know, how do they acclimate themselves to that?
I think it depends on the culture of the organization. I'm all about risk. Most people would default to bold, assertive personalities, especially in this business. So there's enough people out there who will play it safe, give you some straight lines, you know, on things, especially in the creative field. A great example is we were launching grilled chicken. Everybody know White Castle?
Love White Castle.
It's a regional brand,
Back
though,
home.
so I don't know where you guys come from. White Castle is a little mini sliders. They were the first company to come out with that.
And like the Crystal Burgers of
Yeah, yeah,
Florida.
yeah.
Why don't they come down to Florida? You can down here.
Yeah, it's frozen.
It's not the same.
No, it's not the same at all.
All my,
Not even
because there's a big New York demographic down here,
Yeah.
and you would
They're
think that,
coming to Fort Myers. Fort Myers and Naples, yeah, they're starting. Anyway,
like, I need another cheeseburger, right?
grilled chicken, because it's all beef. They have chicken rings, which are amazing.
So-
That's
so-
my favorite thing. I'm going there Thursday.
Oh, I want to come.
I know.
All right, we're going.
That's what we do when we first land. We go right to the headquarters cafeteria. Like, they all cater it in, and we're like downstairs, like,
After the bicycle.
that's why I like it. So, grilled chicken, this creative team had a decision to make. Are they going to, you know, they say, oh, new grilled chicken at White Castle. Instead, they called it naked chicken. That's pretty risky,
Yeah.
right?
It had naked pizza.
So they came out with naked chicken, and the campaign was two people, a couple, talking, television and radio, and the woman says, "You want me naked?" And he's like, "I didn't say that," you know. And so the client originally approved it, but then pulled the campaign. They were too afraid. So.
Yeah, M&M does the naked
Yeah,
campaign
yeah.
with the brown M&M.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
chocolate show.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, of course, but it was too scary for the client, and then, I much prefer, and people who do those and take a risk stand out. You know, whether it's right or wrong, it stands out when somebody's gonna go all about it.
Do you think the client had a problem with that because their type of product is not something that people would view in a naked perspective, that it was more like it's a fast food kind of fattening type of food versus this new, it's kind of like a transition? Do you think that
No, I
Is
think,
it all?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. This client, because they're family owned, is also a little delusional. They believe they're a family brand.
White Castle?
Yeah.
I didn't even know, honestly, I didn't even know that it was, you know about Chick-fil-A because you hear it from here to there. You know about Walmart, you hear it all over the place. You don't hear about White Castle being a family brand.
White Castle is a brand you go to violently overeat in the days.
Yeah, totally.
That's what it is, that's what it will always be, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I try to explain to them that being unabashedly who you are, sort of like my opening salvo, right, on culture, there's nothing wrong with it. But they're like, we're a family brand. I'm like, really? You don't even have kids, Nino.
Yeah.
And I don't know what family's gonna drive into the hood with the bulletproof glass to get a slider at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Right, those families I know. But, so what we try to do is appeal to that target customer, and they're always like, no, we're a family brand, we have breakfast with Santa. that's why I think, they knew it was right, but at
Right.
the last minute, they were like,
Well, it makes sense, sometimes sometimes it's the owner and just what they envision their values.
Sure.
Remember, we talked about like, you can be the best pizza maker, doesn't mean you can run a pizza business. It's the same thing, like, just because you have this perspective doesn't mean that that's right for your company or right for, the market.
But I'm sure also it's also because when you're trying to get traffic, right? And you're not gonna go all out with
yeah,
everyone.
you're not gonna walk lines for no reason. Absolutely.
Awesome, very good. Any other questions about internships, opportunities?
The intern program is super cool.
Yeah,
I want to be an
there
intern.
is- Is there a space festival? No, summer?
Yeah, and the reason for that is it's so intense and it takes so much of our time and resource, we can't do it till it's done.
And then you guys, like, is there potential, like, you graduate, hire